All right. Actually, there is one other thing I wanted to mention that's new in the garden. I've been having problems with wildlife coming into the garden, specifically deer. I have a fence around the garden, as you've seen in other videos, but it's about like 4.5 feet tall or 5 feet tall. That's nothing for a deer. These deer, their back legs are like springs. They're like a cold spring, and they can easily jump 8 feet, no problem. So what we have here in this area are whitetails, southern whitetail deer, and I know they're here because I have seen them. I have seen their droppings around the garden, and especially in places where there are trees that have young new shoots growing and flowers and stuff like that. So in an effort to get positive evidence of what it is that's actually coming into the garden and what they're doing here, I've installed some trail cams at various places in the garden. I only have 2 of them so far, but that's one of them. You can see it has infrared. It can do video and audio, although right now I only have it set up to take photographs. That's mostly what I'm interested in, is photographs. But there's one there pointing at this direction into the garden, so it's pointing at an angle. You can see, right? You can see that it's pointing, and it's at an angle toward the garden, and it's covering a wide swath. And then as I walk over there, I'll show you where the other one is. The other one is strapped to a Florida oak tree that I have in the opposite end of the garden, pointing in the same back in the opposite direction. And I did these trail cams are not cheap, so I really don't have a lot of disposable income to throw away on webcams. I got 2 of them over Christmas holiday. There it is right there. You can see it. I might buy a couple more, but right now they've actually captured mostly just shots of me and my dog at night as we're walking out, walking through the garden. Sometimes he wants to use the bathroom late at night. I'll bring him outside, and the webcams will, these trail cams will snap a photo of him while he's doing his business. Sometimes that happens. Right now, I haven't seen deer in this garden. Usually, I don't find them in fall or winter. Like I said, I bought these during the Christmas holidays, so usually when I see them is when there's new flush of new growth on the trees. That's in early to mid-spring, and I expect that'll be the case this year as well. But just to give you an idea of what, let me just pan out and zoom this way. You can see the dog over there in the corner. You see, that's the direction we came from. So these two trail cams are pointing at each other. Really, I need another one. Ideally, I need at least a third one over here, pointing in this direction. I'm actually standing right next to the oak tree, as you can see. There's the oak tree, and what I need one is in this direction, because here's where I've seen the droppings, the deer droppings on the ground. My guess is that they're nibbling on the flush of new apple tree growth. I got one. It's pretty clear I have an apple tree that's dying. I think I'm gonna have that removed very soon. So yeah, there you have it. That's another thing that I forgot to mention in a prior video. But yeah, that's one of the new things in the garden, is that I had to install trail cams to get positive identification of what critters are in the garden, what they're doing here. I can't, deer is a protected species. There's nothing you can do about it. You certainly can't hurt them. You can hunt these animals, and I do actually hunt them. I have, hunting licenses, but you got to buy deer tags, and there's a special time of season when you can do it, and there's a lot of rules associated with it. So for the most part, if they come into the garden, there really isn't anything I can do about it. And part of the reason I have the dog, actually, is because, you know, he puts droppings all around the fence line here, and the deers smell that and they understand that it's a predator, and so it kind of discourages them from coming into the garden. But I find there are some times a year when I guess they're particularly hungry that it doesn't matter, they'll do it anyway. But there you go. All right guys, signing off.